I'm Brittany. I'm a self-love coach, self-care connoisseur, and supplement enthusiast. This podcast is all about taking your power back in your own life by creating a killer self-care routine and discovering a love for all parts of you. Mind, body, and soul. Being a mom is fucking hard, and that's not even including the mental roller coaster you go on to discover who you are as a person again. I'm here to help you regain your confidence and stop putting yourself on the back burner. Okay, so today we're going to talk about holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the New Year, the crazy New Year, and the crazy time that it is around, or traditionally, it's usually known as more of a hectic, busy, crazy time in our lives that can be kind of stressful. Even this year, I'm going into it a little bit more hesitant because every year has been stressful as fuck. Even as a kid, I would feel the stress off of my parents, and it would make it really hard to actually enjoy the holidays. So that's why I've decided to change it the fuck up and do something different. My daughter's 3, if you don't already know. So we've had a couple of Christmases with her, holidays. And this year was like the first one I really decided, you know what? This is not like, I don't want it to be crazy hectic. We haven't had a super traditional holiday so far with her where we, like I did when I was a kid, where we open presents that morning and then we go cook a bunch of food and then we get ready and go to like some relative's house that we don't talk to but like 4 times a year. And same with Thanksgiving. You know, we get up early, we cook all day, we bust our ass just so we can eat it later and have leftovers. And yes, we come home and we chill out and whatever, but it's like you have all this stuff to do and you have to clean up the mess that you whatever, and it's just like a whole thing. And I didn't want that for my kid. I didn't want that for me for the rest of my life. So I'm gonna explain how I've decided to shake it the fuck up and why. So one, I'm treating Thanksgiving this year like a big party with family and food and booze and whatever the hell people want to bring. Something that's just fun and enjoyable, like a big party. I don't want Thanksgiving to be so strict and like, yes, I want to have fun while we're cooking. I want to dance around, sing, and like have fun with my kid. And I want to get her involved in the cooking process and things like that. And yes, even though it can still be kind of stressful to have a bunch of people over at your home or go and do this at someone else's home, it's still something that you can kind of think about and add these little things in to your routine and to this day that can make it really like whimsical and fun and not so stressful. And I also made sure that I held my ground and my boundaries in who was cooking what, because I'm not going to cook a big ass meal for everyone and everyone else come over and it be all on me. That's not something that I was okay with going into adulthood anyways. And so now I have kind of changed it up. And yes, I'm inviting more people than I ever have to my home. I'm still holding those boundaries and making sure I'm getting with every single person and making sure they're bringing something or contributing in some way. And obviously, like I'm aware that, you know, times are hard and some people have it harder than others. Completely aware. Also, quick side note, I am so obsessed with having plants on my desk by an open window. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. I had myself faced away from the window because I have these like flowers and cute little backdrop almost for videos and things, and so I was obsessed with that. That's why I wanted it like faced away. But now that I'm facing the window, because I put some exercise equipment in my office, I feel like one with nature. I know this sounds crazy, but honestly, like I feel it's like green and pretty, and I don't know, space is like somewhere I love to be. And there's books that are like color coded. I don't know, it's just like, if you can make your space better in any type of way. Maybe I'll have a podcast over that one day, but making your space the way you want it, even at the smallest, teeniest budget, doing what you can to make your space feel like amazing, not look, but feel good. That is like so important, and I am obsessed with doing it. Anyways, back to the subject at hand. Thanksgiving this year, I'm treating it like a big ass fucking party. Like, everyone bring food, everyone bring booze, everyone bring whatever the hell they want, and like just having it as a party. Now, I am going to have like 20 to 30 people coming over. this coming up weekend, I'm doing it early. I'm doing it the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So I have Thanksgiving with really, really close family, and like my parents, my husband's parents, like really, really close, to where we just literally get together and hang out and watch movies and eat whatever we want. Like yummy foods, right? So spending the day itself, maybe doing something that you love, or whatever. And I know everybody's situation is different. Like you have a bunch of family and maybe you don't throw it and you just kind of come in. Maybe limiting your time if that family, if you still want to go, maybe limiting your time there versus staying like all afternoon, evening, whatever they do. If those people are draining your energy, have a different approach. Make kind of a game plan to kind of weave around whatever. Or don't go at all. Like if you have a bunch of people around you, I know it's easier said than done. That's why I gave you the alternative, but it can be really hard and draining if you're around a bunch of people that you don't enjoy being around. And it can be really hard just to cut those people off, especially if you've grown up with them. So I completely get that aspect of it. But find little alternatives. You don't have to jump in head first to anything, or feet first, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Dip the toe in, just do whatever feels right and get with whoever you're with, your partner, and just discuss that, I guess. But that's not why we're here. I'm getting on a tangent. This time I'm inviting a bunch of family that we don't normally hang around, as frequently at least. And I just felt like I needed to this year, just to kind of have one big like bash. I'm also inviting a bunch of friends that I really enjoy being around, and just making it like, I guess in a way, like a coming out party for me. And not like coming out as in like a different sexuality preference or different, whatever, but like a coming out party as in like, this is the new me, bitch, and this is how I am, this is who I am. And if you vibe with my energy, great. If you don't, that's fine too. Just this is who I am as a person. I'm loving and caring and healing, and I'm just not open to that generational trauma bullshit. Like, that's not who I am. And I don't say or do that because I feel like I need to have this big bash for that. I also really wanted to get the family together again, because of grandparents, more so the age, I just wanted to have like at least, because you never know, like things could happen every day, like each day anything could happen to anyone. So like having this like big thing for people to really connect again and kind of like rekindle almost in a way, then that is something that I think if I have the power to be able to kind of bring those people back together, I'm going to do what I can. I'm really hoping it's not going to be fucking freezing though, because I don't have a huge house, especially for 20-30 people, but I have like a huge yard and a huge porch, back porch, things like that. So it's really nice to be able to have people to go outside and do whatever they want. There's plenty of room for everyone. No one feels cramped or crowded. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll make it work. Setting the boundaries. That's like my main thing, is like setting boundaries and doing whatever feels right to you. Stop trying to please everyone else around the holidays, because you can't please everyone. So by doing whatever the hell you want anyways, is really going to make your holidays special and memorable, versus like going somewhere you absolutely hate or going somewhere that makes you feel like shit. Like then that's going to be a bad vibe around the holidays, and I'm sick of having that bad vibe around the holidays. Let's talk about Christmas. I ain't doing jack shit. I am spending the day with my kid and my husband, and we're opening presents, and we're gonna play together with her new toys. We're gonna all play together, and then we're gonna eat a good breakfast, and then we're gonna go over to her grandparents, because it's like, I used to live there. It's really chill. We usually just watch movies, we hang out, we cook, we just talk, we hang out, and it's so like, it's a different mood there. No, we don't know. Well, I mean, we're family, so like we have our moments of like, God, I can't stand to be around you, but we generally love to be around them, and my daughter loves it. She loves being over there. It's like one of her, I know that place and being there and staying with Nana Pops and like things are going to be a big part of her childhood as she grows up. Like that's going to be one of the big things that she remembers. And so I want to keep it that way. And obviously if the vibes are bad, I like take her out of the situation, and I go at it differently than I did before, but still it's like for the majority it's just always a very welcoming space. Let's talk about the new year, because this is like the main bitch of today is New Year. Where do I even begin? People talk about New Year's resolutions and they say like, this is what I want to do, this is who I want to be, and they have all these goals and things, which is amazing. I love when people have goals. Like those are when you have a goal, like I'm drawn to you. Doesn't matter what type of person you really are. Like if you have a goal and a dream and you're talking about it and you're passionate, like I'm drawn to you automatically, because I am like that and I want someone that I can talk about my passion with. I would love to be able to go into this and just talk about it and rant and stuff, but I want to give you a little bit of education, a little bit of something that you can go into, because I know November and December are usually the times that people talk about their goals, and this is also something that I am super passionate about, because I know the only thing that really got me through holidays a lot of the years was knowing that there would be like this big New Year's party. I would have so much fun, and then the like next few days I would be like busting my ass on my goals, right? Who wants to get hungover? I mean, maybe you don't, but like who wants to get really, really drunk and whatever, and then the next day have to get up and start working on like busting their ass on their goals? I don't know about you, but not me. That's why I say fuck. I mean, a lot of people have said like fuck New Year's resolutions. Like it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you try to change your life over in one day, like change your whole life in one day, when you can't even seem to change it in a full year? I'm going to tell you about SMART goals, and you may have heard about them before, but if for some reason you haven't, now you'll know. And it is generally the best ways. You want to make sure your goals are SMART goals, and it's an acronym, so it's not just like, oh, is it SMART? But making sure that they are SMART goals and they meet this criteria for it to work and feel like you can accomplish it. Because if they're way out of this and they don't make any sense, and they're way out of your comfort zone, they're way out of like the left field ballpark, whatever you want to say, then they're probably not going to work or stick. And you can have goals for the year. Like for mine this year, I think I'm going to get really close to reading about 40 books, but not quite 40 books. And I know next year, if I try to read 50 or 100 books, like some people, that's not going to work for me, because I'm maybe not even going to get to the 40, which is okay. I'm giving myself grace in that. This is still the year that I have read the most books in years, maybe ever, since school. And so I'm celebrating myself in that, because I've reached a goal of, over 30 books, 20 books, over 20 books, and still like, that's still a huge accomplishment for me to read 20, 30 books. So next year I'm going to try even harder and try to hit that 40 book mark, because that's just what I want to be at. That's something that, it's not a live or die situation, but it's still something that I want to accomplish. Giving myself a number works best for me, but I'm not pushing myself so hard that I'm like, you know what, actually that month it was really, really rough. I didn't read very much. Like, I'm giving myself grace where I need to. So let's hop into these SMART goals. I'm going to explain what they mean. So SMART is an acronym. It's SMART. Obviously, if you know how to you know how to spell smart. I'm telling you, I'm going to have to make so many edits on this podcast, because your girl is so tongue-tied today. It's not even funny, but it's fine. We're showing up anyways. So S, you want it to be specific, simple, and you want to be able to see yourself in this goal. So you don't want to like have it so, like I said, left field, out of pocket, whatever you want to call it. Like you don't want it to be so far out. Like right now, if you're only making like $1,000 a month, for instance, you don't want to say, oh, I want to make $10,000 a month next year. I mean, is it possible? Yeah. I mean, depending on what you're doing, and if you exceed your goal, great, that's amazing. But making sure like that your goal, okay, let's shoot for like 2,000, 3,000, maybe even 4. That's still a pretty big jump. If you're making it like in your own business, whatever that is for you, just make it specific, simple, easy, not easy, but simple, something that's simple. And you want to see yourself in it, something that you feel like you believe that you can accomplish in the next year. Not just like, oh, I'd like to do this, but I don't believe I can. Then maybe choose something else or lower it a little bit. This was a big thing for me. I thought I believed it when I would set these goals of like, you know what, if I push hard enough and I grind and I do all this shit that I got to do, then I can make this goal happen. And every year I would psych myself out. I'd never believed that I could actually do that. So your goals don't have to match other people's goals. Like for you, yours might be, I want to work out once a week, for instance, because you don't at all right now, which is totally fine. That's where you're at in your stage, at the stage in your life. You know, everyone is different. So, okay, now I want to work out once a week, or I want to make sure that I'm eating healthy, like strictly whatever, 2 days a week or whatever it is for you. And don't compare yourself and go to these, try not to compare yourself to these other people that you see on social media and things that, like for me, for instance, like right now, I work out about 3 to 4 days a week consistently. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 30, sometimes it's 40. It really just depends on how I feel that day and what feels natural to my body and how I am in this, like that day. But knowing that, okay, you going from working out 0 days a week to consistent, and I mean consistent, 3 to 4 days a week is probably not going to be good for you. It may not happen. It may, but it's probably not, you're going to, how do I put this without sounding like a bitch? Having an unrealistic goal is the easiest way to fail. Will you learn from it? Absolutely. You learn from failures all the time. But if you continuously try to set these crazy goals for yourself and it's not, just specific, simple, see yourself in it. That's all I need you to know. The letter M. You want it to be measurable and meaningful for you. You don't want it to be like, I want to be skinny. I want to be fit. Like if that's your goal, you can't measure that. That could mean something different for like everybody else. That could be completely different. And I don't necessarily mean the scale. I don't necessarily mean using the scale or using measurements and things like that to determine this. You can use things you're going to be doing to reach this goal. So if you want to be the strongest version of yourself, which is what one of my goals is currently, and it will be for the new year and to come or whatever, just being the strongest and the healthiest version of myself is my goal. So, okay, how am I going to get to that? These need to be measurable goals. So if I say I want to be the strongest version of myself, I'm probably not going to know exactly what that means. Like I don't have something that I can measure that off of, and I'm not going to use the scale. I don't want to use measurements. Yes, I still have those to see my progress through numbers, but I don't use those to dictate that, oh, now I'm strong, now I'm fit, now I'm whatever. Where do you want to use skinny, whatever. I use these just to show my progress, like a journal. I use my journal. I can look back at my journal and see, okay, this is where my mental state was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay, look at where I am at now and like look at this progress. It's insane. But that's not necessarily measurable as well. You can use like, what habits am I going to do? So for me, just as an example, I am going to be working out more consistently. I've been working out for years, but I've never been super consistent with it, to where it was like a lifestyle change. And it would be super consistent at periods of time in my life, but it was not like a continuous thing, if that makes sense. So for me, measurably, I want to be making sure that I'm working out at least 4 days a week. Maybe 5. Great. Some weeks I may be more into 5. Some weeks maybe 3, because shit, I just forgot. Like, shit happened. I got distracted, and that's where you give yourself grace in that. You don't have to be perfect 24/7. No one's perfect 24/7. And meaningful to you. You want it to be meaningful, because if it's something like, I want to be this, right? I want to be, how do I explain? I want to be a real estate agent, right? I want to pass my whatever test to be a real estate agent. Great. Do you care? Like, is that something you really want to do? Or are you just saying that because you want to accomplish something? It has to be meaningful. The letter A, achievable. We kind of talked about that in the S, about how it being achievable is super important. You also want to act as if it's already yours. It's already here, as if it's now, like it's happening now for you. And think about how will it benefit, and how will it benefit? How will it hurt? Wherever you want to check the ecology in that, in your other areas of your life. Or you want to say, you know what, I want to lose 30 pounds this year, or 70 pounds this year, whatever it is. Okay, well, where's that going to affect the rest of your life? Like, on all areas of your life. So if you're losing 30 to 70 pounds, and, you know, like you're working out 7 days a week, but you have a full-time 9-to-5 job, plus maybe you work more than that. Maybe you work more than 40 hours a week. And also you have a kid, and you have all of these other things. Are those things is this going to take priority over the rest? Are you still going to leave those as priorities? Like, where's that stand for the rest of your life? You have to think of other aspects. Letter R, realistic. And we've already kind of touched on this, so the next few I'm not really going to go into too much detail, because we've already pretty much discussed this. But realistic, you want to make sure it's realistic. Same thing, achievable, realistic. And although I love big dreams, I love big goals, you have to set those smaller goals to get to those big dreams and those bigger goals. So depending on where you're at now, we need to size that down. And it's not saying that you can't dream big. It's not saying that you can't do whatever you want, but it's, to get to that point, you have to have these small little, not achievements, celebrations and goals that you have to reach before you can get to that overall goal, right? You're not going to go from, if you make $1,000 right now, like we discussed earlier, if you make $1,000, okay, you're going to have to make $2,000 and $3,000 and $4,000 and $5,000 and so on until you reach that $10,000 mark. Like, it's just, you have to have those smaller goals. And the amount of time that you reach them can vary person to person, but still having those small goals is how you get to the big one. And then for R, it's responsible, and you want to make sure it's ecological. So basically meaning, like, it's not going to hurt someone else. Is it safe for yourself? Is it safe for the world? Is it safe for, like, you want to just check your ecology there. Like, is it hurting other people? Is it, like, what are these goals doing for you, the world, and the people around you? In the letter T, you want it towards what you want. So if you're making your goals and you're like, I don't want to be sad, I don't want to right? You want to say, like, this is what I want. This is not, I don't want this, so I want to have this goal, so I don't have this. You want it to be, I want to read 40 books. Okay, well, I don't want to read only 5 books a year. So that's why you have your 40 book goal, right? So when you're making these goals, because I know a lot of people love to make them early, that's why I wanted to get this out super early. So November, December, if you've already made some of these goals, it's fine. Like, reevaluate them, listen to this podcast, and sit down with your goals and make sure that they are SMART goals. And I'm going to recap really quick also. And these goals are seriously the best way to be able to achieve what you want, even if you have those bigger, larger goals on your vision board. Like, for my vision board, I have a Rolls Royce. I have more material things, but like, on this one, because I have multiple. So I have 6 vision boards that I keep in my office that are like main big goals. because I don't want to have to re-evaluate these every whatever, right? So I have a newer Cadillac. I have my husband's truck that he wants. I have like an RV or like a camper. I have razors. I have a Lamborghini. Like I have all of these things that I love and that just like are pretty. They're more material on that one. And then I have another one that's like my podcast. This was before I even started posting. So it was like my podcast graphic that has actually changed. So I really do need to update that. A bank account number. I have like these pictures that make me feel really good. Some quotes. And even like a storefront, because that's something that I want to do. And we can talk about vision boards in another one, and then I have a mood board that has like all of these pictures that just make me feel like how I want to feel. Like the pictures make me feel a certain way. Another one is just like fitness, and I do have a strong, like she has her hand on her hip, she has these abs, she's a very strong woman, muscles. I have a sleeve of tattoos. I have these like a bunch of pictures of like gorgeous plates of fruits and vegetables and like green juices and like active and laptops and like all of these things, right? Coffee and cozy slippers and weights and whatever. And then also have like maybe I'll have to show it on my Instagram story again. I have a travel one that has all these places that I want to visit, and then I have one that has like my future home and like the vibe that I want from that, like a office, like all these things, and like this big library in like a sunroom with plants. And so again, that kind of leads me from my like 40 book goal, because I want to be reading every day. I want to make that super consistent as well. So if I have this goal of books, then I can, in buying these books, I can fill this library once I have a library that I can just marvel at. And all of this is just like leading all of these small goals that you lead. You want them to lead to this big vision that you have for yourself. They don't always have to, but if that's what you have, these small goals are to set you up for these big vision goals that you have. So just knowing and remembering that, and giving grace to yourself when you're setting these goals and when you're going through these goals is super, super important. Don't look at these goals as something that you have to do every day, that you're not human, you can't mess up, you can't have setbacks and things like that, because that is so the last 10 years. Like, we're done with that. That's over now. We're not here to say like grind, go. These like cute little quotes that are great on paper, but when it's really applied to your life are really hard. So just know that you can mess up. Know that you can change your goals throughout the year, because maybe they aren't SMART goals, or you thought they were at first and you're noticing now that they're not super sustainable. Like, that's okay. And you're allowed. You're going to learn so much about yourself by setting these goals and really going on this adventure and changing them as you need to. This is like the biggest way that you can really embody who you are in this moment and who you want to become, and making adjustments for both of these people that you have that envisioned, and just congratulate yourself, celebrate yourself, love yourself, and give grace to yourself. Because stuff like this, most people that achieve their goals by pushing themselves and beating themselves up and making themselves do these things that they don't want to do, most of the time they're burnt out. They're stressed as fuck. They don't have a lot of relationships. They feel like they have to be a certain way to be successful. And we're breaking that barrier. Here in this podcast, we're breaking that barrier in life now. There's so many things that are coming to light for so many people. And I believe the pandemic really had a reason for that. Like, we were all stuck with ourselves, if you will, for a long time, because we're not needing that outsource or that external gratification like we used to, or at least maybe not as much. If you still do, that is a part of your journey. Something else I really want to mention quite briefly is I am always here. I am always here for you, especially as a podcast listener. I have other social media platforms that I'm on more regularly that you can talk to me through, other content that you can look through to see if that helps you. And if you have any questions, I want something I really actually want to start incorporating into the new year is after the holidays and things have kind of slowed down, knowing that this is a way I give myself grace, knowing that if I try to enforce this now, going live on TikTok once a week and just allowing people to ask me questions, and being there and supporting these people and holding space for these people that need it in whatever times, going through their goals, whatever that may be in their journey. And knowing if I do that now, I may not have, I just don't have the time or the energy or the desire right this second. I mean, I would love to, but like, it's just not there. I need to wait until I have that more time on my hands, a little more like open schedule, if you will, to be able to do that. So giving myself grace in not doing that right this second, but knowing that in the future, that is something that I plan on doing. So, where was I even going with this? Oh my God. Other platforms I have. Telling you, my brain, something is in the water today. I think I need a little bit of time to rest, maybe read, lay in bed, chill. It's been a busy weekend. But just know that I'm here. Just know that I'm here for you regardless, and I would love to connect with you and love to help you on your journey. And that's just why I'm here. That's the main reason why I'm here, is just to help others and really connect with them and help them, learn that we can be kind humans and share our knowledge and love and still make an income doing it, even though we're sharing what we have to say. I feel like that's a big part, that a lot of people think that they have to be super, and I'm guilty of that. I used to think that as well. Like, I have to hold back everything that I know and then give people little teeny tidbits, and then that's it. And obviously, like, if we're one-on-one, we're deep diving. Like, that's specific to you, and we need to know, we want to work through that for you specifically. And I won't be able to do that through my content because I don't know you 100%. No one knows you 100% but yourself, but going and deep diving into that is something that we can seriously do for your goals, and I can support you on this journey one-on-one. That's something that's coming this next year, which I'm so excited about. I can't wait to bring these clients in and bring you in and make it to where you can have me at your disposal. Message me whenever you need, and have this this connection with me that we can go through together, and I can help you in whatever areas that you need support in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a review and share with another mama who could use some support. If you'd like to connect with me elsewhere, I'm on Instagram and TikTok. All my social links will be in the show notes. And just remember to love yourself and do something for you every single day.